Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're with us today before July 4th. We got a big show lined up and all kind of exciting things going on. I know you're getting ready with your family to do some celebration and relaxation and recreation and just all kind of Asians, but I know you're getting ready to take your time and just enjoy your family. I hope most of y'all have an opportunity to do that. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Looking at high today, 87, low 76, and we're looking at a really strong situation as far as the heat and all not being as bad as it has been. And when you say high of 87, it's been really warm last week and all, but it's sort of cooled down a little bit. Water temperature remains at about 84 degrees. It's cooled down a little bit too. We'll skip our river regions today. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Look at a high tide at 12:01. Really good tide today, and a low tide at 12:24 tonight. Good situation. We had a situation last week where we didn't get much fishing in as far as catching fish because of the moon situation. We just had that full moon last week. My grandkids were in town. I took them just because they were in town, but I felt bad even going out because I knew we were not going to catch a lot of fish, and we didn't. But we just had a wonderful time just riding the boat. We caught a few fish and just being together. And that we were talking about that analogy I give about you going fishing is like making a cake, and if you go getting out there, you're catching fish is just icing on the cake. But just being out there in nature and being together and enjoying it, then we really were able to take advantage of that situation. So let's go ahead and our marine forecast will be west-southwest at 5 to 10. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Just got off the phone with them fine folks down at Sea-Quarters Marina, just checking on the fishing report and all, and they're the same way we were. The first thing they said, this past weekend and all, people just working off that full moon, not doing real good. And the theory behind that, and over the years, I believed in the freshwater and saltwater, and I go way back to my kid days with fishing with my dad. He never would, and I've said it before over and over again, he never would fish around the full moon. He'd fish. He'd always go he had that 3-day rule, 3 days before, 3 days after. But now you're going to catch some fish, and like I say, we caught some, and he says a few of those guys caught some, but they just didn't. And what they'll do, the theory is they're feeding all night in that bright light. So it's interesting, the cycles that we have in nature and all. And speaking of cycles, we always talk about, we're talking about red snapper, going out red snapper fishing. I recently would show you a lot of pictures on red snapper. And on a regular basis, I would show you a red snapper that had been cut in half by a shark bite. That's pretty common. And we always use that term as a taxman. They're getting a break. The taxman's getting a break, but getting his cut off of it. Now here's the deal. I got this. This is not a red snapper. I'm going to read it to you and show you the picture. In fact, this is Bill Barfield, one of our loyal viewers, been with us a long time. And he said, this is not a snapper in 80 feet of water, but a redfish that was up near the bank and never swam more than 20 yards off during the fight on the flat in East Bay. And my second encounter in 3 days. Right in time for Shark Week. Wade fishermen have fun. Okay, so here's what happened. Okay, that was a big redfish, and it was just cut in half right there. And you can see, first thing I noticed was the ruler he had it on. That's at the ruler that you get from CCA. If you catch a tagged redfish, you got to take a picture on that particular ruler. But again, I'm gonna go back to what he just said. It was within 20 feet. That he said it was not 80 foot of water, but he didn't get more than 20 yards off during the fight on the flat in East Bay. So seriously, we joke about it. You wade fishermen, be careful. If you knee deep water, you're going to be okay. But sometimes we venture out a little bit deeper than knee deep, and just be aware of what's going on. Okay. A couple more pictures here. Chris Knox again. Chris, it was some rough seas this past week, and they really had some rough time. But that's a classic Panhandle red snapper right there. Good job, Chris Cox. Okay, I got some. I'll show you this later. We're going to talk about this later. But anyways, I want to show those 3 pictures. And also, speaking of, also keep this in mind now. We talked about the CCA, the tagged redfish. if you catch it, you win those big boats or you win a GMC truck. And I tell you about the one being caught in Okaloosa County. Well, I was informed we caught one here in Bay County, and I knew about it within 10 minutes, within 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes when it happened. I started getting phone calls, and they asked me what to do, and situation being, I said, first thing I asked them, were you registered? And then they said no, but they were going to register that day at lunch, but they didn't. I said the best thing to do is just go ahead and take pictures, release it, mark your spot, and try to catch it again, which is what they did. But that cost that particular fishing party, the individual, they would have won the first choice. Probably would have been that Pathfinder, been about a $70,000 boat, or that GMC truck, and that was here locally. And ironically, the same day, the guy caught one of them in Choctaw Bay. So I urge you, if you do, and Bill Barfield on that ruler right there, obviously Bill has applied now, or I registered. I've done the same thing. I registered, but also keep this in mind. Here's the coolest part of the whole tournament to me. For kids, for teenagers, you can register them, and they're not going to win the big prizes. All they're going to win is a 16-foot Carolina skiff, brand new. That's all they're going to win. That's not bad, is it? Or here's what's cool about the whole thing. If you take pictures of if you register, take pictures of a trout or redfish, they got each category, and they will draw. When the season's over, after Labor Day, they're going to do a random drawing, and whatever teenager or teen fisherman or adolescent that wins that prize, the prize is a $25,000 scholarship, college scholarship. That ain't bad, is it? So keep that in mind. It doesn't cost that much to register. If I take kids with me, I just automatically register them. And don't, and you're going to take a lie detector test now, so don't try to fudge on anything. Don't try to hook it for somebody else and hand it a pole, because it's very strict on that, and it has to be. So, you catch a fish and bring it in, and just be aware of that, okay? Well, let's go. I'm at a breaking point. Let's go and take a break, and we'll come back. Okay, welcome back. Let me cover this pretty quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time because we've talked about it before, but I just want to show you the Sheriff's Department, law enforcement I've talked about this, about everything going on. Okaloosa could adopt Crab Island rules in July, okay? So that's interesting. So I'm going to just read you the first paragraph. You don't have to follow me, but it just goes along with what I've been saying about boating and all this. It's a good time to talk about it before July 4th. More than 80% of the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office marine-related calls for service in recent years have been for activities at Crab Island. Sheriff, it goes on to say, they had a workshop, and then he noted that his deputies pulled 25 people from the waters at and around Crab Island just last weekend. The people who had to be rescued either were intoxicated or did not understand the weather conditions. There are no lifeguards out there. He said he passes the island every weekend on his way to go fishing. It's become an adult nightclub. It's become a bar. There has to be some rules, so they're going to start making some rules out there, and that's exactly what I've been saying. I started talking about that a couple years ago. Same thing happened in other places, so be careful out there. Now, we've got scalloping season coming up. It's not open yet, not in Gulf County. It's open down on the eastern end, or far eastern end, but keep this in mind now. I'm going to show this little video, a little 7-minute video. It's a good video. It's 3 parts of the season. I want you to notice the difference in the sizes of the scallops. I go early, middle, and late, and see the different sizes. I have my kids with me. This from several years back, and we had you'll see now, it's sort of windy at times, but you'll see the difference, how they've grown and all as far as scallops. This is why we finally caught on that we're going to open the season a little bit later. So, Jeff, let's roll this video. All right, folks, getting ready for our first scalloping trip of the year. We've been at the dock for a couple of days because the weather's been bad, but we're going to venture out today. It's coming out of the east, and here with my granddaughter Maddie and Mackenzie. You girls ready?
Yes.
Y'all ready to go scalloping?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that hat from?
You.
Okay. And also Jill, my daughter-in-law, my son Chip. We're going to make it a family affair this morning, and we're going to go take a look at them. Okay, it's been a bumpy ride. You can see how bad the wind is blowing. It's really choppy out here. Tip number 1, when you get ready to go, clean out your mask, and the first thing you want to do is always spit in it, okay? I do it off camera. Spit in it, rub the spit around, okay, and then wash it off. That gives you a little film, a protective film. It won't fog up on you. All right? About ready to find the first scallop. Woo!
And she said,
Too windy.
she said, Daddy, there's a starfish.
I found a starfish.
All right, we're getting started on our scalloping trip. We got a diving flag up. Got all the helpers in the water, all the little monkeys in the water. Got our bags, and we're getting ready to get started. Y'all ready?
Yeah! Excited!
Everybody ready?
I'm excited! Go!
You ready?
Mason, jump. Yes!
All right, go, Mason, go. Go. All right, we found a scallop yet. Y'all see why I don't get out of scallop? Okay, listen, we just brought our first ones in, and you can see they're all different sizes. But what I want to show you, this is almost like a scientific experiment. I want you to see. Can you see this right here, folks? This is a little baby scallop right there. And he was clinging to a grass blade, just like that. And that's exactly what they do. I just brought them up to show y'all. They come in different sizes at different times of year. This obviously had just been. This is in July now. He probably didn't get started now until probably March or April. Now, you see the different sizes. Now that one really won't mature until about Christmas time. So that just shows you different sizes. We're gonna let him go. Whitney, let's let him go. You got what you got? A little starfish?
Yeah, baby starfish.
All right.
I like my
we're gonna let that one.
starfish
We're gonna throw him back in the grass. So throw him over there in the grass. All right. That shows you different sizes right there. That's amazing. That's a scientific study.
I'm gonna snap the starfish. Stop. Wait. Wait, I got to keep that and get somewhere else. Where did it go? Where did it go? Want me to go under? Yes.
I don't see it. Oh, it's right over there. I see something. Over there, right on the edge. Are you sure you have it? No, you
Mama,
might.
I can't breathe.
Is this one yours?
I can see it from everywhere. No, that's somebody else's. Oh, there you go. Mama, the next one you see, I want to get it.
Okay, come. Your mask leaking?
That's not bad, is it? One spot. Good start on. A nice size too. Now you see we're cleaning the scallops here. We've already attracted a little visitor. Look at that little baby shark. Throw one out. All right, watch him. What are we doing? Look at there. He let go of it. All right, he's coming back. Watch it. You got another one? Now I wonder where the mama is. Folks, it's so much not easier to clean them on the boat. Take them back to the house. Recycling all these little fish. These little fish are having a buffet out there. All little chopas, shark, stingray. All right, folks, we're gonna wrap it up. It has been absolutely gorgeous, beautiful out here. I told my wife this is one of the most fun things I do in the outdoors. I absolutely love scalloping. The water's clear. A lot of scallops out here. We got our limit in one stop here, and we're going to go home. We already cleaned them on the boat. We'll go home. We're going to eat them tonight for supper. And I hope you get a chance to get here and enjoy the St. Joe Bay and all the scalloping. It's just absolutely gorgeous down here. Winston Chester with Panhandle Outdoors. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. You see what I mean about the size of the scallop. So they're going to be healthier later on in the summer. Only bad thing, a lot of people get back to school and all when that happens, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at our fishing game times brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 4:41 today, 4:41 to 6:41, and then tonight 5:03 to 7:03. Let me give another tip of the day. Really not a tip, it's just a common sense thing. Make sure you wear your kill switch on while you're on the boat and it's moving at a fast speed. It's just got to be a habit to do, like putting on a seatbelt. And I found myself, I recently hadn't started doing it, then that accident happened last week, or that fatal accident we had here at the City Marina, and that would have saved that, you know, it would have saved a life if we had it on. In fact, when I was on the water last week with Mason and Ashley, I put the boat, I told them about it, and then put the boat in full speed, and then I actually stepped away from my ignition and my kill switch, you know, come and the boat cut off just like that. I wanted to demonstrate. So if you get a chance, demonstrate it to young people and explain to them what's going to happen about when they fall off. That boat's going to turn, it's going to go round and around, and most of the time it's going to hit you. So the importance of that kill switch is just such a valid point on boat safety. Now, July 4th coming up. Wishing all of y'all a great July 4th tomorrow. Be careful. And one of the things I tried to come up with some different things you can do on July 4th away from the crowd. If you're like me, you sort of like to stay away from that crowd, that craziness and all. So here I wrote down 10 things, you know how I do, top 10 things to do when in that situation. Number one, in no particular order, that you can sort of stay away from the crowd, for most of the crowd and all, on July 4th, okay? Number one, you can go to the shooting range. Isn't that an odd thing? Go to the shooting range. And most of these things will be morning activities while it's still cool, but the shooting range has a shade and all, and it's a good time to sharpen up on your shooting skills in the summertime, because a lot of times we're just not around it, so think about that one. Number two, take a short walk in the morning. It may be humid or something, but go ahead. If you can get out in nature and hike at a state park system, or up at Torrio, or down here around in South Walton, around those little ponds and all, do it, you know, as the sun, you don't have to do it at daybreak, but do it as the sun's coming up and off hours, and just have a great walk. A short hike in nature is wonderful in the mornings. Okay, number three, of course, if you can get on a creek and do some canoeing or kayaking on a creek, nice, cool, you know, go point A to point B, or just, you know, wrap around and actually jump in the water toward the end of it. Think about doing that. Now make sure it's not a snaky area, good, clean, clear water, but jump in the water and cool down. That's a good natural thing to do. Number four, go brim fishing. All you folks down at Howard Creek and Depot Creek and all those areas over in Black Creek, go brim fishing and knock it off by about 9 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock. I promise you, there won't be very many people out at that time of day on July 4th. Same way with surf fishing. In fact, I'll probably cooking all day tomorrow morning, but I may go surf fishing for about 2 hours and then come back in and cook. So surf fishing is going to be excellent. Any kind of little activity right there at that point in time. Number six, this might be a tough one on you, but if you, and I would do this if I was around the house and all, but go cut some firewood for an hour or two, especially those battery-powered chainsaws. You don't have to cut these big old logs like that. Just find some limbs and all, go cut them up, throw them in the back of your truck, get them home, you can put them in logs later, you know, right size and all, but not a bad idea to get out wood. Just be careful and watch out for snakes. I know this is sort of odd things here, but number seven, in the bay system, go early and kayak the bay system along the shoreline and fish a little bit there in the bay. Number eight, snorkel. Get out there in the bay system and practice snorkeling for your scallop season coming up. It'll be a great opportunity. You don't have to go early for that. You can go about 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock and just get out there before the crowd gets there. And number nine, seine net. If you got a little seine net, I got one from Fred Buchanan the other day. He came by the house and brought one for the kids. Get a seine net with the kids and just seine up some right there in the grass of the flats and seine up the sea life and let them identify the sea life and different things out there. That's a cool thing to do. And number 10, I'll be doing it. Get your cooking equipment ready. Get all your cooking equipment ready. Also, your fishing equipment. A good time to get everything ready for after the 4th and all. But I'm gonna get your cooking equipment ready to cook for July 4th, and we're gonna have a family again coming down at the Cape and all. We'll be there celebrating the July 4th, and want to just wish all of y'all a happy July 4th. And this is the midpoint of the summer, and midpoint really of the outdoor activities in the summertime. So be aware of that. The day's starting to get a little bit shorter, but really after July 4th, the crowd's going to sort of moving away. There'll be a big crowd watching fireworks and all tomorrow night. So be careful with that. If you're like me, you like to watch them from a distance. So when I was younger and all, I want to be right in the middle and thick of that stuff, but not anymore. So anyway, and if you do have fireworks, be careful and handle them right. You can see time and time again where we have accidents. So just be careful out there. And don't eat too much, but enjoy the celebration of our country's independence, okay? You have a great day. Have a great July 4th. Enjoy yourself. Do something good for your fellow man this week. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.